welcome to Women's Biz Tribe Next Level Success Summit. Oh my goodness, are we going next level or what? We've had a day and a half already of amazing speakers from around the globe. Thank you so much for all of your feedback, comments in the chat, so much energy coming back, so many consistent comments about, Annie, how do you find all of these amazing ladies who are just raw, authentic, sharing their wisdom, giving such practical tips, amazing. And I totally agree with you. Yeah, they are amazing. And they're attracted to Women's Biz Tribe because we are all about that. We're about unapologetically just being who we are, being the best version of ourselves, really rising together, helping to collaborate together rather than competition. We don't need that. We need to actually rise together as women in doing business and life together. It is such a joy. And so thank you so much for that feedback. Our next speaker is another amazing lady. Her name is Carrie Benedet, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Carrie. She is an education specialist. Oh, no, she's not an education specialist. Yes, you are. You're a global leadership coach. There you go. I'm going to start with that. You're a dynamic facilitator. You're a keynote speaker. She's done kokoda, which is the most grueling walk in Papua New Guinea. She's all about leading leaders and teams through education systems, government, businesses. Oh my goodness, she is absolutely amazing. And she's going to be talking today about thriving success, your business self-care. So she's all about, when we all do business and we forget to look after ourselves. I'm already feeling calm by her background there. And so it's all about how do we actually thrive? What does thriving success actually look like? And let's have a little chat about self-care along the way. Welcome, Carrie.
Hello, Annie. Hi, everybody. Great to be here. It's a beautiful day. So let's find out what sparkles or what phosphorescence we can create today for our own self-care. It's just beautiful. I love the word thriving. It's part of all the things that I do because thriving isn't easy. So when we're working for ourselves, working with a team, working with others, thriving comes up a lot. And so what we'll do today is really practical. It's all about giving it, #give it a red hot shot, which is one of my mantras, Annie. And I just know that when we shout out for each other, when we're curious about each other, that's where the gold happens. That's when the sparkles happen. That's where we all start to shine, even though we may not have that opinion about ourselves every minute of the day. So why not share a few different things about our thriving success, particularly for business, because we're here with Women's Business Tribe Summit. But this applies not just to our business. This applies to our daily life, because if we haven't got a few things together, we haven't got a few strategies that we can rely on, well, then life just gets that little bit more difficult. Not as easy. And in the last couple of years, we've been through some abrupt change, which it's a gift. COVID, the pandemic, is a gift that keeps giving. So we need to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, trust our intuition, but also have some strategies that we know work for us. So when we're really feeling like everything is coming in on us, and we're not sparkling as much as we possibly can, we've got some things that we already do that we know work for us. So let's have a look at those, Annie, if you wouldn't mind. We've got a couple of slides to share. And I'm a water girl. I actually love getting in the water, and water is one of those techniques, whether it's under the shower or in the cold or in the warm water, if you like it, whether you're beach, dam, river, pool. Water has this magic property of being able to let us wash over what's continually coming through in our mind. The negative talks, perhaps the talk that comes back and says you're probably not as good as you think you are, starts to get into your psyche. Use water. So one of the things I'm going to say to you today is, let's have a look. Is your mind full or mindful? And so if you're high-fiving everybody else in your life and work, Where are you? So here's the rub, really. Here's where it matters. You matter, your thriving matters, and your people matter. And when I say your people, that can be your family, that can be those relationships you hold very close, that can be the people you work alongside and with. It can be the people that you haven't even bumped into in life yet. So we all matter. And when we have a mindset like that, I believe we can actually flip our thinking over and we can actually see positive solutions in things. So let's have a look, because at the moment, we feel like we can be on a roller coaster, that things are just going round and round and round. So sometimes it's good to be able to get to jump off that. So some of the strategies we're going to talk about today and share will be those. So I'm going to ask you to play, to get in and do some of this as we go through it. Are you ready? Because I think this is all towards how we can look at our day with some joy and know that we have got some great things in place. Helps us understand ourselves so we can understand others. I think that's the key to all that I like to do. So let's have a little look. First of all, the first thing I'm going to say to you is just put your hand up in front of your face. Just put it up there and have a look at it. You have the most unique handprint, and every finger that you have, and I'm lucky to have 10 fingers, not all of us do, but I'm very fortunate to have 10. I can look at my fingerprints and know that I am totally unique. I'm very special, and there's no one that has a fingerprint and a handprint like mine. But this hand for me is a great prompt. And so what we're going to talk today about are using this notion of 5, using our hand as a prompt for some of these techniques that we're going to do that look at how to thrive in life and work and business. Okay. So first of all, one of the first things I'm going to say to you is take your pointer finger on your right hand, place your left hand up in front of your face, take your pointer and start to inhale as you trace your finger up your thumb, and then breathe out again. Now I want you to do that 5 times just to settle yourself wherever you've rushed from, whatever you're doing today. Take a moment, breathing in and exhaling out. Then we're going to move on to the next finger. So the exercise is breath, breathing in, exhaling out. And we do this 5 times on each of our 5 fingers. So I'm going to let you rest your hand. Continue to breathe in and exhale out. And as you're doing that, I want you to start to take notice of what your body is doing. Are your shoulders starting to drop? Do you think you're sinking more into the seat that you're sitting in? Are you relaxing? Can you feel some relaxation around your stomach area, your abdomen? How's your neck feeling? So continue in tracing those 5 fingers, inhaling to the top of the finger and exhaling all the way down. So I'm going to leave you some peace now while you do the rest of your 5. Breathing in, exhaling out. Now you may be taking a little bit longer, but this exercise can be done as a break between tasks. It can be used for after something that has been a difficult conversation for you. It can be done as you're sitting at your desk with your back to the window or the wall of your office. It can be done in private. It can be done whilst you're having some health tests. I recently used it when I had some heart checkups, and we have a history of heart disease in our family. So I watched the monitor that was on my heart. I watched it come down, the heart rate come down as I did this breathing technique. True story, only just recently. And by the way, my heart's beautiful, so I'm very grateful for that. So this is one of our first techniques, using our hand as a prompt. And this is something that will bring some light into the situation that you're moving into and away from. One of our first strategies for success. Now, let's have a look. Where is it hardest for you? When we have a notion of who we are and we're being told continually that our well-being and our wellness is critical to our success in life and work, well, then we have to look at 5 different areas. And here they are. So how do we unlock the key to our well-being? And here I'm going to suggest to you that we have some mental or some cognitive thinking skills that are more productive for us than others. We have some things we do for our physical being, such as our exercise, the nutrition that we put, the food that we eat, how much we hydrate. We have some areas there for our physical well-being. We have different things we do in our social activities and social connections, what type of barriers we put in place sometimes, or ways that we can compartmentalize, get our work done so that we're not feeling pressured, but also have times when we know we need to be social, to reach out to 5 people that we haven't chatted to for a little while. Just drop them a note. It can be a phone call, it can be a voice message, it can be a text, it can be anything that we do like that, that actually helps us. Then we look at our environment. How do we set up the environment for success? Well, a lot of you will have an area in which you work. Many of us are hot desking. More and more of us are doing virtual work like we are today. So how do we set up the environment so we feel calm, we feel welcome, we feel that we're at home, and we know we will do our best in that? And lastly, what's our spiritual well-being like? What have we got in place there? Remember, we've got this beautiful, unique fingerprint, thumbprint or fingerprint, whatever it is. So we know what works for us, but we also are curious. So for our spiritual side, many of us are now looking to different types of yoga, different types of spirituality, different interests. So when you start thinking of this, once again, use your hand as a prompt. And one of the great things that I like to do is just to trace my hand on a piece of paper in my journal, in my daily journal, and just look at it. What's going on this week, Carrie, in your thinking skills? What have you thought that worked really well? What have you added to your physical side, or what has fallen off? How are you going socially? Have you had too many social activities so you actually can't get some of the work done, and which is adding extra pressure on you? What are you doing about the environment? Have you got a sore back? You know, something happening that you need to actually look at, the chair you're sitting on, the way you're sitting, or how much you're sitting. Have you got out and walked? That's my favorite activity. The same for our spirituality. Is there a mantra? Is there a spiritual prayer? Are there particular things you like to read or listen to? What are you going to stop? And what do you need to start? So that's our second strategy amongst the 5. And the third one that I've given you just then is about tracing your hand and using it as a way to reflect on these areas of your well-being. Let's have a look at our next one. Well, why do we need to do all this? As a young mum, I wished I had more of self-awareness and an understanding that if I knew myself better, I would be able to understand my children a little bit more and understand the people that I was working with. Now, hindsight's a pain in the butt, don't you think? But when I look back on it now, I go, have a good laugh. sense of humor is always good. But I now understand why it's so crucial that I understand how I perceive things, what understanding I make of things, how I can express myself better, and then how I can reason with and manage my emotions so that I do make the right decisions for not only myself, but for those that those decisions affect. And this is called self-awareness. So for any of you who have a real interest in emotional intelligence and the neuroscience of our brain and our way of being, it's a great way to learn more and more about why we do certain things. So our self-awareness gives us the chance to look at what are our productive behaviors and what are the ones that are unproductive. You know, we're all talking about being present, being empathetic, being able to inspire ourselves and others. You know, I don't want to be stuck in being temperamental or being very evasive of others or being locked down in a way or critical of others. I want to be in productive behaviors. So learning some of these strategies for success means that I can actually put these into play to become the better person that I want to be, the person that I'm attracted to. I want to be attracted to me. So this may sound very self-indulgent, but I wish as a younger woman, I'd actually had this a little bit more. And now I think with a little bit of age, Annie, and all you girls out there, a little bit of age, we all talk about wisdom. I now go, you know what, Carrie, you've got it. And this notion of being able to high-five yourself actually has a science around it. So let's have a little think about that as well. We had a system. We have a vagus nerve, which is very, very important in our whole physiology. And it relates to what that nerve releases in hormones. So dopamine gives us the information about what pain we're in, how hot or cold we are, what we feel when we touch things. What I'd like to say to you is our brain is super important to us. If it's stressed, it flips into survival mode. And you know, we talk about this notion of fight, flight, or freeze. So we actually can get a thing called an amygdala hijack. Do you know when you all of a sudden spark off and you have a bit of a reaction that's more dramatic than you usually do? I usually say to myself, crikeys, why did that happen? This is actually something that we are all open to and we all know happens. But so when our brain is in stress mode, though, it's in survival mode. And we're not allowing any new information into the higher brain or our prefrontal cortex there so that we can actually go and create new skills and new memories. We only see the stress as a threat. So what we need to do, the only solution science is telling us now, is to calm and settle our body. So one of our other strategies that I'd like to share with you is to actually put your hand on your heart and give it a big high five. Rest your hand on your heart and relax. Use that breathing technique we did before. The hand on your heart calms yourself. When you're calm, you can go into, hey, Carrie, you've got this. You're okay. You're safe and you're loved. And it helps this particular system we have. It's called our RAS, our reticular system, to receive positive mantras and affirmations, and to once again go back to, yes, you've got this, girl. So there's more information. This is just a snapshot, right? There's plenty of information on the RAS system that I'd love to encourage you to look into. Here's one of the things that I absolutely love. You know, when we watch a marathon, or if you're running, I did the City to Surf this year, just a couple of weeks or so ago. And I hadn't done much training for it, but I just knew I had two of my children. We've got 4 kids. We've got two of the kids who are adults. Said, come on, Mum, we'll do it with you. Right. So we did it together. They ran and I do a fast walk, of course. Anyway, what I noticed particularly was all these people on the sideline going, come on, and you can run over. People give you a high five. Doesn't matter where you are, whether you've just started or you're in the middle or you're thinking, oh my gosh, the blisters on my feet are just crazy. I don't think I can finish this. Someone's going to give you a high five. This is a great strategy for what we can do. In this case, looking in the mirror actually is absolutely brilliant, particularly in the morning. You know, when you've got bed hair and it's totally, you look totally yuck. You look like you. That's you without all the lippy or the mascara or whatever. I love this technique. Here we go. This is what we're going to use. And once again, we're going to use this notion of 5. The alarm goes. It's very easy to go, I don't want to get out today. I don't think I can do this today. You do it. You count back from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. And you say, I'm okay. Morning, Carrie. I'm safe and I'm loved. You get out of bed. You make the bed. Do it. Then you get into the bathroom. You walk around into the bathroom and you go, instead of going, oh my gosh, you look shocking. Look how many lines and bags you got under your eyes. You put your hand on the mirror and you celebrate you. You give yourself a high five. You just say, Carrie, you've got this today. By gosh, girl, you're looking great. Even though your hair's not done, you haven't brushed your teeth yet. Then you make sure you get your shoes on. Whether you're just going to go downstairs, sit and welcome the day with your morning meditation, or whether you're a walker like me, I get my clothes on, get my shoes on, and then I also pick up my journal. Now, this is really important because we can train our thinking processes, our RAS, by doing some constant and regular journaling. Only has to be a page, and we call it the dream journal. And we just write. We just write like a narrative. You then check off a couple of things, and in that you can also, this is what I want to do today. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. This notion, that's just an example of how to use a high five, and we've layered it, right? With affirmation, giving yourself a gift, looking at yourself and acknowledging who you are and that you can take care of you. You've got it. Making sure you get out. All the science is telling us we have a great need for early morning light and fresh air and greenery. So how can we put all those together? This is like a supersonic smoothie or I love a green juice with ginger and lemon in it. So, you know, this is my tonic for the day. That journal actually adds much more to our day and our thinking. Plus, it gives us a chance to physically write. Now, we've had a look at a few different strategies today, all about you thriving and how to be successful in that. And I think, you know, it's a very interesting place to be. When we understand ourselves, when we put in place a few things that we know work for us, we can look back on the day and do a bit of an audit. We can actually look back and go, wow, this is what I did today. This is how I felt today. So name some of our feelings and then have a look at the balance between those feelings or emotions that you consider to be positives, those that you consider to be perhaps negatives, or maybe they're neutral. Maybe you were able to turn them around. Using some of these techniques, you can move yourself from out of the contagious, pessimistic thinking that sometimes stays with us, keeps us in that narrow thinking, keeps us in those unproductive behaviors, to looking at, wow, actually today I actually had more joy in my life, more sparkles or effervescence, or some would say phosphorescence. And you look back in that and it gives you an idea and a more realistic view of how the day's gone. The temptation is to stay in the, why does this happen to me? Why didn't that go well? I've been working on this for ages and now I've got to change it again. I think I'm exhausted. Okay, Let's open up our thinking so that we can be more lateral, can look for more solutions. Your thriving success, I believe, really is underpinned by your self-awareness and what you do around knowing where you're at, knowing what works for you, and being curious and leaning into, okay, I made a little mistake, I made a little fail here, but how can I actually look at that and go, you still got it, girl. Have a laugh. Well, I've just done that twice and it didn't work, so I could just got to can it, just throw it out. Over to you, really. And here's my last thought for the day. The Dalai Lama, many of us have a huge amount of respect for. If you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. I've really enjoyed myself, Annie.
I love it. I love it. I tell you what, yes, absolutely. Try sleeping with a mosquito. Oh, we can all make a difference, however tiny you feel on this planet. Seriously. Oh my goodness, Carrie, I just feel so calm. I'm like tracing my arms, and I'm like, oh, you get into it. And I tell you what, it's about just tapping into yourself, isn't it? I love it. Self-awareness. We don't do enough of it. I love that. Where did you start? Are you mindful or mindful? Yeah. Our minds are so full, jam-packed. We're too busy just being busy, to actually just calm it down. I tell you what a great thing to do at this stage of the day, to actually calm it down. What I love is that slide that you set the scene for the day. You actually have a process rather than just fly out of bed and get going and already starting the negative self-talk of going, oh my gosh, what are you doing, girlfriend? To actually intentionally, make steps. Yeah, that's right. Get your bed, get your dress, like basic things, but just set the scene, have words that you say to yourself, treat yourself nicely. What did you say? I want to be attracted to me. Yeah, that is such a good line, right?
Be the person you want to be.
Be the person.
Yeah. Annie, I think the call to action today for anyone who's listening, let's have a call to action, girls. Come on. Yeah. Let's try some of those. The high five in the mirror is worth doing every day. Try 1 week, then go 2 weeks, and then go for the 3rd week. Mm-hmm. And share it. Just say, share it with somebody and say, can you just check in with me today? Have you done your high five in front of the mirror? So let's layer this. Let's share a technique with somebody that we don't know, or someone that we do know, and go on. So thanks, Annie, for having me today. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
We have so much fun just being here. So I hope everyone listening in, oh my goodness. Someone on the chat went and said, I want Carrie to come to my place. Exactly. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Just get yourself centered, get yourself sorted. But here you are, you're a leadership expert, you're an educationalist, you're helping people. That's right. At top levels of business. I tell you what, guys, if you don't get yourselves right, your business is not going to thrive. You have to start with yourself. You have to get yourself centered, calm. It's a lot of this common theme across presenters is actually intentional actions, intentional behaviors. That's what successful people have. They actually plan things out. And because they do that, they're not carrying all this extra anxiety and worry and what ifs. They're just like, hello, girl, because they know themselves, right? When you have that conversation, and I'm seriously going to post that in the tribe today. I'm going to go to have you done your high five, Carrie Benedet style, and try and just get that accountability, because it does require that to change your behavior. And we all know it takes a month to really start kicking something in. So there will be days I'll do that for 3 days and then I forget, but that's where there's value in the tribe, right? That's where there's value in people checking on you, while you're learning to check more on yourself. And I just absolutely loved it. So thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I want you all, if you want to catch up with Carrie, go to carriebenedet.com. womeninleadership.com. That's where she is. That's where she lives and thrives and does all the things that Carrie does. So make sure you check her out. If something that she said really resonated, just reach out personally. None of us are scary. Everyone's super approachable. Absolutely lovely, lovely lady. I seriously want to go hiking with her next year. We've still got to talk about that. Trainers.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine our conversations on the trail?
Oh.
Be amazing. Oh my goodness, we could seriously save the world. Absolutely amazing. Also, you'll find Carrie over at Women's Biz Tribe. So just pop into our Facebook group, come along to one of our webinars. Ask a question to not only Carrie, any of our speakers. Everyone is just so available. The great thing about Women's Biz Tribe is you've got women from around the world who go, you know what? Like, I'm just so busy being me and I'm not competing with you. If there's something that adds value, you know what? I'm really happy to help you. And that is what I absolutely love. That is what I love to champion. I love women supporting women, women empowering women. Classic example is Carrie here today. So thank you so, so much. I look forward to our next speaker. So everyone listening in, just go and have a couple of minute break. Go and get yourself, and we'll have another speaker popping on very, very soon.
So let's hype that something.
Ladies, are you dreaming big enough? I want you to dream big and act bigger. You see, I want to have power. I want to be empowered. Suddenly, being empowered is a more positive word, because I want to make sure that I know my own values, my boundaries. I know what I want to achieve in life. Visible and invisible barriers are only a problem if you accept them as such. So a woman with a big dream also needs to have a plan, because without a plan, that dream is just a wish.
I love her confidence, I love her charisma, and her positivity and her brightness and her colour and her lessons about life. As a woman who's been through so much, it was really, really inspiring and really interesting.
I had 4 kids in 2 years. I wanted to be a businesswoman. I had no money. I had to think, how is this dream going to happen? If you actually start believing if something's important to you, just back yourself. Back yourself despite what other people say. Successful people are not held back by what other people say.
I would recommend that for everybody, because everybody should have a dream and everybody should back themselves. So I think she's awesome.
Even when it feels like everything's not going to work, they go, you know what? I'm going to make sure that this does work. I'm going to be positive despite, because it brings energy, it brings opportunity. And as soon as you actually get half glass empty, your vision will start failing. I encourage you to start making your dreams a reality in business and in life. Thank you.